One of the most powerful displays that Jesus did in his earthly ministry is found in John chapter 11. And in John chapter 11 is actually where we find our fifth I am statement that we've been looking at as well. So I invite you to turn there with me. Open your Bibles to John chapter 11, and we're going to look at one of the most powerful and famous displays that Jesus did through the resurrection of Lazarus. And so some of you might be wondering, who is Lazarus? Let me give you just a little bit of a backstory here. Lazarus is the brother of two of Jesus's dearest friends, Martha and Mary. You've seen them articulated at different points throughout the Gospels. They lived in a village called Bethany, which was just a couple miles from Jerusalem. And as John chapter 11 starts, Jesus got word that Lazarus was sick, that he was ill, and they were pleading for Jesus to come and to heal Lazarus so that he wouldn't die. But Jesus had other plans in these moments where he actually looked to his disciples and said, yeah, Lazarus is going to fall asleep, but we're going to go wake him up. And as we find Jesus unpacking this, his disciples did not understand what he meant by falling asleep. And he's just like, well, then what's the big deal about this, is what the disciples were in essence saying. And then Jesus just point blank went and said, Lazarus has died. Jesus purposely waited for Lazarus to pass away so that he could demonstrate one of the greatest principles that we need to understand that we find in the fifth I am statement. And so as we come now to John chapter 11, I want us to start looking at verse 17 as we read with this passage. It says this: now when Jesus came, and when he came to Bethany, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb 4 days. Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 2 miles off, and many of the Jews had come to Martha and Mary to console them concerning their brother. So when Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went and met him. But Mary remained seated in the house, grieving for the loss of their brother. Martha said to Jesus, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I know that whatever you ask from God, God will give to you. Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. Martha said to him, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection on the last day. In essence, what Martha was saying is that, yeah, I know I have my hope in you. I don't know how it's going to work, but I know that we're all going to have this everlasting life. Martha and a lot of the commentators were saying this, and I can read it in these pages too. She was kind of talking in this abstract version. But Jesus was going to take this abstract version of truth now and pinpoint it with laser precision to get Martha to respond with a depth of understanding and truth here. And now just resume this in verse 25, where Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live. And everyone who lives and believes in me shall never die. And then he goes to her and says this, do you believe this? And she said to him, yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Christ, the Son of God, who has come into the world. Jesus used a tragic event to really get at the core of what we believe in our hearts. What do we know about Jesus to be true? Do we believe that he is the one who has the ability to heal, to forgive, to give life, to give purpose, to give understanding? Or do we kind of just take our faith in a back way of looking at it, just letting it sit on the back burner for a little bit, saying that it's there, but are we really pressing into it? And Jesus used this tragedy to make that happen. I am the resurrection and the life. It's not just a happenstance, it is a certainty. Now, what happened to Lazarus? Well, Jesus called him back to life, demonstrating his power, his authority, but also showing his compassion for the feelings of people. As a matter of fact, John 11:35, one of the shortest verses in the Bible that carries a lot of weight, where it says these two words, Jesus wept because of the loss of his friend and the grief of the people that were around him. He was able to empathize, but at the same time, he says, Lazarus, come out. And Lazarus rose and came out, demonstrating Jesus' power over sin and death. Friends, I think we have to take a moment when we contemplate this incredible story and listen to Jesus' question that he gave to Martha after he displayed the entire facts, where Jesus is point blank looking in your face today saying, do you believe? Not just do you know, not just as your parents told you. Do you believe that Jesus holds the key to life, to identity, to purpose? Friends, that's what we have to answer today. For me, I believe it. I know it's true. It defines my life. Will it yours?